I see it on my screen as live. So you say when and we'll get started.
It is live stream now on YouTube.
Yeah, I see mine. I'm just waiting for Carol to give me the okay.
Good to go, Margaret.
Okay, welcome everybody to our regular meeting of the Board of Education for February 23rd, 2022. And to our virtual meeting that hopefully we'll soon be able to do face-to-face ones that way and be able to see each other in person. I'd like to begin this meeting by recognizing we are conducting our business today on the traditional territory of the Tsimshian peoples. And we also, in the provision of public education, conduct our businesses on the territories of the Haisla, Gitxsan, and Nisga'a peoples. We are honored to work with their children and privileged to live on this land. Today, February 23rd, is Pink T-shirt Day, and I anticipate that Janet has a video or something that you wanted us to see about Pink Shirt Day. I just had a couple of comments about how this day started as an act of kindness in a small town in Nova Scotia with two teenagers and their friends when a child came to school wearing a pink shirt and was bullied for it, and the class around them and the teachers responded. And it is now built into a worldwide day of recognizing that we want to have programs for anti-bullying and we want to have kindness in our world to each other. So Janet, if you would like to share your video, we can learn a little bit more about Pink Shirt Day, and then we can move on to our meetings.
I never did anything to you.
I seemed to feel better about myself when I hurt you. But really all I felt
Was shame.
I hide this part of myself from my kids. People I hope love me.
Even now, it makes me feel so alone.
I just went along. I was just a coward.
I just wish someone had stopped it all and said,
If I could just go back, I'd say,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Janet. Very powerful message there. So before we start the meeting, just a couple of reminders. We'll do question period towards the end. I'll start the meeting with all the trustees introducing themselves. And then just a reminder that we have no committee or board meetings in March. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, April 27th. And we'll confirm, hopefully to be face-to-face by that time. We're 3/4 of the way through the year and we're all anticipating spring break. And I'd like to start the meeting by wishing everybody will have a happy holiday and a healthy, happy holiday in time for recuperating for themselves. So I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Margaret Workup and I'm from Terrace and your board chairperson. And going around the screen, I'll have Ed introduce himself next.
I'm Ed Harrison, trustee from Terrace. I'm a son.
Next is Raymond Raj.
Raymond Raj, trustee for Kitimat.
Karen.
Hello, Yelts, Karen Yonkman, trustee for Kitimat.
Shar.
Hi, everyone. Shar McCrory, trustee for Hazelton and Kitwanga and vice chair.
Angela.
Hello, I'm Angela Brandenuser. I'm the trustee from Stewart.
And you have your hand up. Did you have something you wanted to share?
Me? No.
Nope. Oh, okay. Sandy?
Hi, I am Sandy Watson, trustee for Thornhill.
Okay. And Janet, can you introduce yourself and your team?
Amasa, hello, my name is Janet Meyer. I'm the Superintendent of Schools for Coast Mountain School District. Thank you. And we'll go to Julia, Geraldine, Ginger, Kieran, and Rob. Please.
Amasa, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Julia Nakaz, Director of Instruction Learner Support.
Youts, hi. My name is Geraldine Lawler, and I'm Director of Instruction for Graduation and Innovation.
I think it's my turn. Youts, my name is Ginger Fuller. I am the Secretary Treasurer for School District 82.
Good afternoon. My name is Kiran Bank, and I'm Director of Human Resources for School District 82.
Hello, I'm Rob Shibley, and I'm the Director of Facility Services for School District 82.
And Janet, I think you've got Carol there too.
Indeed. One moment, please. Here. Oh, you're blurred. Come closer. There you are. There you go. You're
Hello,
good.
I'm Carol Gagnon. I'm the Executive Assistant. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Sorry, Carol, I put you on the spot, but you are very important to us there that way. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first agenda item is to acknowledge that we are participating by electronic means, and I need a motion to do so. Would someone so move? Thank you, Raymond. Seconded by Ed. All in agreement? Thank you. Next, I can declare a quorum, and I require a motion for the approval of the agenda. Would someone so move? Thank you, Raymond. Seconded, Sandy. Any changes? Everybody agree?
Chair Warkup, I believe there's an amendment to the agenda. That would be 11.1A, strategic plan poster and plan.
Thank you. And poster, okay. All in favor of the amendment to the agenda? Adding in the strategic plan, I see hands going up. Thank you. So the agenda is approved. Next, we move to the approval of the minutes of the prior meeting held January 26, 2022. Is there a motion to approve these minutes? So moved by Angela, seconded by Sandy. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Passed.
Chair Workup?
Yes. Yeah.
Point of clarification, I don't believe you did. Did you do a territorial acknowledgement at the beginning and I missed it?
Yes, you did. Sorry, shall I repeat? Yeah, I did it. Yeah,
okay.
Right at the very beginning, right before we started the pink shirt stuff.
Okay, thank you. I'm good then. But
yeah, no problem.
And the only other thing is we should recognize Kim Meyer and Jocelyn Bagger on the call.
Okay, I don't see Jocelyn, I see Kim. Kim, did you want to?
They're attending together. Just point of clarification.
Okay, welcome Kim and Jocelyn. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I didn't have the chat open. It's hard to see everybody on the screen. There you are, Kim. Welcome. Yeah, thank you. Thanks,
Chair,
Char.
may I be so bold, please, as to welcome Johanna with us this afternoon? She is the new education coordinator for Glen Vowell, and I'd like to extend a welcome to her.
Thank you. Welcome, Joanna, and we welcome questions at the end of the meeting and more conversation at that point. So thanks, Kim. And you can always be bold so that we hear what's happening. Yes. Okay, so if we can move on to 6.1. The summary of the in-camera meeting, January 26, 2022. I require a motion to accept these. Thank you, Sandy. A seconder for the receipt of these. Thank you, Raymond. All in favor? Passed. Next, I need a motion to receive the summary of the in-camera meeting, January 27th, 2022. A motion to receive. Thank you, Angela. Seconded, Shar. I love it when your hands are going up so quickly so we can do this. All in favor? Passed. And thirdly, summary of the in-camera meeting, February 10th, 2022, a motion to receive. Sandy and Shar, all in favor? Passed. Thank you. Business arising from the minutes, an update on the K-12 vaccination. This is just an informal report that we did review what the Ministry of Health and what Ministry of Education has given us in terms of how to deal with COVID since the last meeting, and there's no changes to any of our actions. But I know the committee, or we all appreciate the work that our staff has been doing to stay on top of all the COVID protocols. And I do want to share that on our board chair call, to update what's happening with health committees, et cetera, meeting in the province. They're working very hard to, if any changes occur, they will not occur during spring break so that everybody can get their holidays. And that was a strong message from the committee chairs that shared with us just last week, that they are hoping everything will just stay calm and good and everybody can have a good holiday. And a lot of appreciation was extended for staff that did need to come in early during Christmas break to be able to respond. So appreciation is extended at this time. Correspondence 8.1, we need a motion to receive the joint letter from on childcare transition, February 8th, 2022. So moved by Raymond, seconded by Angela. Thank you. And that's on page 16 to 18, and it's about the childcare transitions that's happening to the Ministry of Education. Also under correspondence, a motion to receive the superintendent's letter to the Office of the Gitxsan Hereditary Chiefs on February 11th, 2022. A motion to receive that. Thank you, Shar. And seconded by Karen. Thank you. All in favor? Passed. Superintendent of Schools monthly report, February 20, 2022. A motion to receive this report. Thank you, Ed. Seconded by Raymond. Janet, did you wish to say anything further to your report?
Thank you, Chair Workup. I would like to highlight the after-school busing for extracurricular activities through the initiative of the BCT, which is the BC Tripartite Education Agreement. For years now, we have been attempting to find additional funding to support extracurricular activities in the Hazeltons. And as of now, those students do have the ability to stay after school and experience extracurricular and still have a safe way home. So I would like to highlight that particular part of the superintendent's report and say that I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for BCT and their ability to share those funds. And I'm also grateful to the education coordinators in the Hazeltons and the Director of Instruction for Indigenous Education, as well as the Secretary Treasurer, all for making this come to fruition. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any further comments or questions for Janet? Shar?
I'd just like to echo the thanks on the work for that's been decades in the works for something to happen for the kids in the Western communities. So very grateful that finally something has come to fruition that looks like it'll work and can be sustainable. So that's awesome that all the kids will have the same opportunities for after school activities. I'm very appreciative. And I would also like to say I did enjoy the information on the HEPA filters. I know that's like, who would want to read about that? But I found it quite informative, and I appreciate the sharing of that. I think it's useful information that's good for parents to know, a little bit of peace of mind. So thanks for those that worked on that as well.
Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor of receipt of the report? Everybody's nodding. Thank you. Passed. We go to our standing committee reports, and I move it to Trustee Raymond Raj for 10.1. Oh, there we are. You're unmuted.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Business Committee report. 10.1.1 Business Committee meeting minutes, February 9, 2022. We had our Business Committee meeting, and the minutes are on pages 26 to 28. I move that the minutes of the Business Committee meeting held on February 9, 2022 be received for information.
Seconder. Thank you, Ed. All in favor? Passed. Thank you.
The next item is 10.1.2 2021-2022 amended annual budget bylaw. And this is on pages 29 to 45, and it will require 3 readings, so bear with me. In accordance to section 113 and clause 2 of the School Act, the Minister of Education requires that amended annual budgets are prepared, adopted by bylaw, and submitted on or before the last day of February each fiscal year. The school districts operate on a fiscal year of July 1 to June 30th. The amended 2021-2022 amended annual budget version 3073-2328-9345 for Coast Mountains School District 82 was prepared in accordance with public sector accounting standards. On June 16, 2021, the board approved bylaw adoption. The preliminary 2021-2022 annual budget was adopted that day. The budget was based on preliminary estimates of enrollment, revenue, and expenditure factors. On December 17, 2021, the Ministry of Education announced the 2021-2022 recalculated funding allocations provincially. Being that there were no significant adjustment required for the amended annual budget, it was not necessary to reconvene the 2021-2022 Budget Working Committee. The Business Committee concurred with the aforementioned recommendation at its February 9, 2022 meeting and brings forward to the board for bylaw adoption. A bylaw of the Board of Education of a School District number 82, Coast Mountain, called the board to adopt the amended annual budget of the board by the fiscal year 2021-2022 pursuant to section 113 of the School Act, RSBC 1996C 412, as amended from time to time, called the Act. Number 1, board has completed with the provisions of the Act respecting the amended annual budget adopted by the bylaw. Number 2, the bylaw may be cited as a school district number 82, Coast Mountains, amended annual budget bylaw for fiscal year 2021-2022. 3, the attached statement 2 showing the estimated revenue and expenses of the 2021-2022 fiscal year and the total budget bylaw amount of $66,113,535 for the 2021-2022 fiscal year was prepared in accordance with the Act. And number 4, Statement 2, 4 and Schedules 1 to 4 are adopted as the amended annual budget of the board for the fiscal year 2021-2022. I move that the 2021-2022 amended annual budget bylaw be read a first time the 23rd day of February 2022.
Seconder, Shar, are you seconding? Yep, thank you. All in favor? Passed, thank you.
I move that the 2021-2022 amended annual budget bylaw be read a second time the 23rd day of February 2022.
A seconder, please. Thank you, Sandy. All in favor? Passed.
Madam Chair, I need a unanimous consent to proceed to third reading.
Do we have unanimous consent, please, by raising your hands? We do, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So now
Yes. Yep.
I move that the 2021-2022 amended annual budget bylaw be read a third time, passed and adopted the 23rd day of February 2022.
A seconder, please. Angela, thank you. All in favor? Passed. Thank you.
And the next one is 10.1.3 quarterly financial statement, December 31, 2021. It is on pages 46 to 50. This one was, this is for information only, and everything is in there and everything is in order. We've been through it, and part of this is in the amended budget. So I move that the board receive the information, the quarterly financial statement as at December 31st, 2021.
Seconder for the receipt of this report. Thank you, Sandy. Any questions? All in favor? Passed.
The next one is 10.1.4, Ministry Data Collection, Projected Enrollments 2022 to 23, 2023 to 24, and 2024 to 25 school years. And these are on pages 51 to 52 of your agenda package. And reference to the attached data collection of projected enrollment for 2022, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25 school years for Coast Mountain School District 82 as submitted to the Ministry of Education on February 16th, 2022. Projection received from a school district will be used by the ministry to facilitate the development of operating grant estimates. Operating grant estimate 2022-23 will be announced on or before March 31st of this year. The business committee reviewed the data collection of project enrollments at the February 9, 2022 meeting and brings forward to the board for information. I move that the board receive the information, the ministry data collection projected enrollment for the 2022-23, 2023-24, and 2024-25 school years.
Seconder for the receipt of this report. Thank you, Angela. Any question? All in favor? Passed.
And the last item I have is the controversial item of trustee remuneration annual review, policy 5095. It is on pages 53 to 55 of your package. Little bit history that in accordance with the attached policy 5095, trustee remuneration and annual review of trustee remuneration shall be conducted annually in February and be tied to the BC Consumer Price Index. Increases may be deferred by board resolution. The 2021 annual BC Consumer Price Index information is attached for reference. The Business Committee reviewed the annual review of the trustee remuneration at the February 9, 2022 meeting and forwards to the board for information and discussion at the February 23, 2022 public board meeting. This issue, as I said, it's political. It becomes political every year. We'll have to work on a better system where the school trustees don't have to make decisions for their own remuneration. Keeping this in mind and to work on a better system like other schools, because every school district is doing their own things. What we are trying to do that every school district is on board together. Like in Prince George, their trustee remuneration is based on the school year, not the calendar year. Ours is on calendar year. But there are lots of controversies, so I have come up with a motion. I would like to move that the school trustees defer the trustee remuneration increase towards the school trustees election in October. And this amount will be equivalent to 2021 BCCPI index.
Okay, can you repeat that, Raymond, so we can then get a seconder?
Yes, I move that the school trustees defer the trustee remuneration increase towards the school trustees election in October. And this amount will be equivalent to 2021 BCCPI index. If I have a seconder, then I can explain it.
Is there a seconder for that motion? Ed, thank you. The
So
motion is second. Do you
is-
wish to speak to the motion, Raymond?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is this year, there is a board election where we have to come up, I don't know, maybe about $30,000, which is lots of money, and it has been taken from our budget. I mean, either way, where you take it. And the increase here, we're talking about maybe a couple $100. And if we're gonna fight for this, we're gonna have a half an hour discussion for $200, which I don't want. That's why I'm moving this. For now, we do this in future, like what Prince George is saying, that it should become the responsibility of BCPC. And they should treat all school districts like similar to, what do you call, we have the staff on the board, not the staff, exempt staff. You know, similar, something like that. So it's attached to something. And that is why I'm saying this, that now we do this, then you will have lots of time to talk about it and what we're gonna do.
Okay. Further comment or questions? Angela?
I mean, I don't really care either way because it's actually minuscule money and amounts to the trustees, the increase. But all we're doing by deferring it till the election is creating something for potentially a brand new board to have to then deliberate. So all we're doing is pushing off something that we have a policy for that states that it's attached to the consumer price index. So the fact that if we can defer it, that's fine. But then we end up with the exact same situation that we ended up with when we first got elected. The rate was really far behind what comparable school districts had, so we had to catch up. So I don't understand why either you vote in favor of it or opposed to it.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? Questions?
Sure.
Gar, sorry, your hand just went up. Thank you. And then Ginger. Yeah. Shar, you're muted. Yeah.
How did it work in the past when we accepted it and then gave it back to the schools? Can someone remind me how that worked? Because I'm kind of with Angela on this. I think if a new board comes in, they don't, it's a whole learning curve. And I'm not saying that, so in the past, when we've accepted the cost of living increase of 2.5%, then we've also in the past, in other years, put that forth to be divided equally amongst the schools. It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money across the board. But if we did that, at least then we're in line when the new Board of Education comes in, and at least they're not going to have to be making decisions or backup or retro or something that's all new to them. And so I feel that I can't support your motion, Raymond, because I don't feel it's the best action for moving forward. So I don't want to spend all night debating it, but I can't support it because I do feel, as Trustee DeNuser does, that you are offloading onto the next Board of Education. And for the amount, I would have a different idea to do something like what we've done in the past. So I won't.
Okay, thank you. I have Ginger and then I had Raymond.
I'm just jumping in to clarify the amounts. I did the calculations so that we can understand what we're actually talking about. So the consumer price index annual percentage change this year is 2.8%. So for the board chair, that would be an increase of $497 per year. The vice chair, $432 per year. And for a regular trustee, $389 for a total of about $28.75 for the entire year for all members. So I just wanted to provide that clarity for everyone so we can understand what we're speaking of. And when we speak about giving them back to the schools, understand that that's like 18 schools divided into that just under 3,000 and what that looks like. Thank you very much.
Raymond, you were next.
If I would like to close if nobody else is speaking. I'll let everybody speak that.
Any other speakers? Sandy?
I just wonder, can we make an amendment to the motion that instead of it being deferred to the election, that it be accepted and the money, as we've done in the past, goes back to the classrooms to be divided up amongst the 18 schools.
That's a whole new motion. We would have to deal with this one first. It's beyond the intent of the first motion. And
No, it's okay. I was going to say what Sandy said.
okay, so hearing no other hands waving and stuff, all in favor of the motion?
No, I have to close, Madam Chair.
Oh, I thought you closed, sorry.
No. I'm the last one.
Okay, close, thanks.
So that everybody understands why I come up with this motion. Looking for a solution. I'm not saying like we haven't been looking for a solution. All we are doing year after year, okay, we're gonna give it to all the school, we're gonna do. And year after year, you are going backward and backward when everyone else is going forward. Because it is a political thing and nobody wants to say, oh yeah, I will take my, whatever that $400 or $389 a year, right? Because, okay, I'll give it away because it looks bad. That's why I'm saying that because the election comes up and it costs lots of money, so we can defer it to that, or even if you want to do like before, I have no problem with that. But what I was thinking, because the election costs lots of money. So once you do that, but in the meantime, you work on a solution so that you are not stuck next year. That's all I'm trying to do. So either way, I'm happy.
Okay, so Raymond has closed. All in favor of the motion as it stands right now? Okay, and against? And it is defeated. Is there any further motion? Sandy?
So I'll put forth a motion that we accept the trustee remuneration increase, but that money be reallocated evenly between all of the schools in our district.
Seconder for Sandy's motion. Shar, thank you. Discussion, questions?
Friendly amendment. I'm wondering if we should say for the fiscal year until, because it would affect, because it would go till December 31st, I think. Is that right, Ginger? Or it would go till February. It would go till the next time they vote.
Right. And so I would consider the fact that you could make the motion to redirect the portion until your time in office ceases, and then it would be up to the new board as to whether or not they would have their portion of it.
I challenge that, Secretary Treasurer, and only because the actual bylaw is till February. So I would say that we do it until the next time it comes up, because the consumer price index, I believe, comes out in February. That's why it was built like that, perhaps.
Yes.
Point of information. This thing, if it is voted on, it is from January 1st to December 31st.
Okay. Cool.
What our treasurer is saying is that we take this, we are responsible till October. And November and December, then when new board comes in November, because it will be, they might decide to go same as Prince George fiscal year, instead of, they might go same as the school year instead of fiscal year.
Okay, Angela, you had your hand up, but we
No,
were asking for a friendly amendment is where we're at.
Yeah, I don't know about the friendly amendment, how all that has to work and whatnot, but if this is a motion, it goes until the next trustees evaluate this. It can't start and stop as we choose. It's a motion for our annual remuneration. And I also just want to say that by creating this, going back to the schools is a wonderful gesture and it's really good. However, we've probably just created way more work for the Secretary Treasurer, whoever has to figure it out, for what it's actually the schools are going to get. So we're creating work, which is costing money. So it's very common for people that receive a remuneration as an elected official to then turn around and donate it to whoever they want, which is your prerogative. You do not have to put it into your bank account. You can do whatever you want. I just hesitate creating a whole bunch of work for something that should be really simple.
Okay, so we're having lots of discussion, and what was on the table right now was the friendly amendment from Shar, which was for the fiscal year.
I will retract after clarification from Trustee Denuka.
So on the table right now is a motion from Sandy, and Sandy, you have your hand up. Did you want to make a change?
So I would make a friendly amendment to say that instead of it being divided up amongst the schools, that the money is just donated back into the general fund. So there is no, it just goes back into the general fund to be used however it's seen fit within the budget.
And used for the election.
Well, maybe then it does go towards the election, but that it just goes back into the general coffers.
Okay, so let's have comments at the right time. So we accept the trustees' increase in remuneration, and it's divided or it's donated back to the general fund instead of given to the trustees. Is that what you're trying to say? No, sorry. Help me, Angela. Yeah.
I just want to say that I don't think that could be a friendly amendment. I don't honestly know what a friendly amendment is in the world of motions. How, so amendment needs to be voted on. Simple.
Okay, so the amendment was withdrawn. So the current motion that's on the table is that the trustees accept their annual remuneration. I can't even say that word. Remuneration monies and period. That's as far as it went. Carol, can you read?
May I reread, Margaret? Chair Warcup, may I please share, can I read back what we have down for the motion?
Yes, please do, because I scratched out the friendly amendment part.
Okay.
Go right here.
That the board accept the trustee remuneration increase for 2021 and that the remuneration be donated back to the school district's general fund to be used at the discretion within the budget allocation.
No, that wasn't the first motion, and that's what Angela is saying, that we can't amend to it. The first motion that Sandy did was shorter.
The first motion that I did was to accept the remuneration and then donate it back, and that it be divided amongst the schools evenly. That was the first motion.
That was the first one. Then you made a friendly amendment after.
No, the friendly amendment was withdrawn. So that is the motion that's still on the table.
Madam Chair, I think that Shar withdrew hers, but I don't recall Sandy withdrawing hers. But you did withdraw yours, Sandy?
No.
Did you? No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. No. So her first motion is still on the table. Is that correct, trustees? Yeah. So what, are we ready to call the question on the first motion? I'm seeing nods. So all in favor of the first motion? Sorry, Shar, Shar and two, okay. One, two, three, four, all against? One. So 4-2. So 5-2, it passes then. Okay, so what it is, read it out again, Carol, so we make sure that you have it right.
The motion was that the board accept the trustee remuneration increase for the fiscal year 2021, and that the money be allocated, divided evenly and allocated to the 19 schools within the school district. Correct, Sandy?
That's what just passed, yes. Okay, everybody comfortable with that? We didn't miss any protocol things? Okay, good. Okay, Ginger, sorry you had a question, Ginger.
My question, if I can draw your attention to page 54. And
Yes.
this is just something to clarify. The procedures on under procedures under number 1, it will state the new remuneration rates. So given the fact that we have donated back for the year, am I then offering the new trustees in October the old rates when they come in, because we've made a decision prior to the election, and I'm not sure, given the motion that's passed, what the new rates will be for the new board?
Okay, I need some help from Angela on this one. Thanks.
We passed a motion. We have, the school board is a continuing body. So therefore, when the election happens, the new trustees will come in, and the difference between what's written on the paper that we're looking at right now and what will become with the consumer price index increase, that of their money will also be donated to the schools in an even amount, because we said that we'll review it every year in February. So until February, or until such time as they review it, they are donating as well.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, everybody understand?
No,
Sorry,
point of information. I think I agree with what Angela is saying, but the clarification is that this money is from January 1st to December 31st. The trustees who are not running are out. Whoever comes in, they're gonna get the same thing, same amount the other trustees are getting till December 31st. Then they're gonna do the same drill in February. And then they decide what they're gonna do. But this thing goes till 31st of December. Even with the new trustees, they're gonna get the same rate till 31st of December. And then in February, they have to decide what they wanna do.
Yeah, great, thank you. I think there's an understanding there with the heads that are all nodding. So we'll move on to 10.2 and we'll put Angela Brandan-Nusser on with 10.21.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So first up is the item 10.2.1 is the minutes of the Education Committee meeting. There was all action items except for one that was the, sorry, Margaret, your papers are really loud there.
Oh, sorry. I'll mute it.
They were all action items except for one, which was an information item, which was the Hobie virtual event that will be held at Bear Valley School on February 28th. The last event that they had at the school, the Nishka event they had at Bear Valley School, was wonderful. So I look forward to this one as well, this virtual event. But on that note, I'd like to make a motion that the minutes of the February 9th Education Committee meeting be accepted as presented.
A seconder for that motion, Shar, thank you. Any question? All in favor? Passed.
Item 10.2.2, the evidence of student learning. The attached school, district, and provincial level data prepared by Superintendent Meyer and District Lawler is presented for the board's information and review as a means of an update on student achievement in Coast Mountain School District. The data tells a quantitative story about student learning in School District 82. Literacy and numeracy remain the focus areas toward improving outcomes for students. Superintendent Meyer and Director Lawler will provide the board with an overview summary of the school, district, and provincial level data at this board meeting right now. So do you want to do that now and then make the motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you very much. The data set that the district education team prepared for the Board of Education through the Education Committee can be found on page 61 of your agenda package. It is a fairly extensive data set, and I would hesitate to go through the entire package right now, but would be thrilled and happy to enter into any discussion or answer any questions anyone has related to this evidence.
Any questions on this? Very comprehensive. Thank you. I don't see any questions, Janet.
Trustee Watson?
Oh, Trustee Harrison too.
Okay, so let me just get back. I'm flipping back and forth. So just looking at the for Caledonia, it's showing that the 6-year completion rate has increased all, but has decreased for Indigenous learners. Am I reading that correctly?
Can you tell me the,
sorry, page 66.
Thank you very much.
I guess mostly I'm just wondering, like with those schools that where there's a decrease, especially amongst Indigenous learners, what the, I guess what the plan is. I don't expect like sort of detailed plan right now, but what steps are going to be taken in order to make that line go on the upward swing instead of downward swing?
Absolutely, and that's a great question, Trustee Watson. And that is part of the student learning conversations that we have with school principals, and it's tied into their goals for the school year And we would bring this data to them and ask questions about the trend, in this case, the downward trend for Indigenous students, and talk about steps moving forward to intervene on that matter.
Mhm. And I guess with Parkside, which is on page 70, it's a downward trend for both.
It is indeed.
Fairly significantly too.
Yes,
That's a pretty big leap.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
So please trust that district staff has those conversations with
Yes.
principals and vice principals and asks the very same questions and expects interventions to take place.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee Harrison had a question too, Janet.
Yeah, Janet, I was just wondering about the math for Indigenous students. I don't know much about it in the district, but is there a focus on Indigenous math instruction specifically, or is it just general? In other words, yeah.
Well, it is our goal to weave or to integrate Indigenous content, ways of knowing and ways of being.
Yeah.
And there are actually ministry supported documents around how to integrate Indigenous content into numeracy instruction. We have Carol Fullerton, who is a consultant who's been working with our school district for the last several years. And while her focus is not necessarily the integration of Indigenous content, it is part of the discussion that we're having with those groups.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? We have the motion to accept the report.
Yep. Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion that the board receive for information the school district and provincial level data as a means of an update on student achievement in Coast Mountain School District 82 as presented.
Thank you. Seconder, Sandy, thank you. Any further questions? All in favor? Passed. Thank you. 10.23.
Hey, 10.23, just give me 1 second. I gotta move ahead. That's a big report. Sorry. Sorry, I apologize. I don't want to zing past it.
DPEC.
There we go. 10.2.3 District Parent Advisory Council DPAC revitalization. So on February 16th, 2022, Andrea Sinclair, president of BC CPAC, met with invited representatives from school PACs at Coast Mountain School District. Ms. Sinclair shared the benefits of every school district having a District Parent Advisory Council, or a DPAC. She noted that DPAC is an extension of school PACs and are also recognized in the School Act. The School Act also provides that DPACs have the power to advise boards of education respecting any matter related to education within the school district, including educational policy. There is a plan to reconvene a group during the week of April 11th, 2022, virtually, to continue the important discussion and the future of the Coast Mountain School District's DPAC. Please reference the attached joint letter from Ms. Sinclair and Superintendent Meyer that they shared with the Coast Mountain School District PACs on February 17th, 2022. It is the hope that all PACs will attend and be represented at this next meeting. It is important for parent guardians for their benefit and for the benefit of their children. So Ms. Sinclair presented at the Education Committee meeting on February 9th with the intent of highlighting the importance of each school having a PAC and each school district having a DPAC. Ms. Sinclair is working with the district staff in order to support the ongoing work of the local DPAC. At the meeting on the February 16th, Ms. Sinclair provided a presentation entitled The Importance of District Parent Advisory Council, DPAC. Coast Mountain School District wishes to thank all the parents, including Miss Sinclair, for their continued dedication and support of their local school PAC. It is our hope that the Coast Mountain School District will have a functioning DPAC in the very near future. I would like to make the motion that the board receive for information the District Parent Advisory Council Revitalization Report provided by Superintendent Meyer.
Seconder, Raymond, thank you. Any question or comment, Raymond?
Yes. Just a comment. I would like to thank Superintendent Meyer to face this big challenge and bring a resolution to this, because we were having hard time for the long time to have the DPAC in this community. And I thank her for doing that, coordinating it. So I hope that we're gonna have a vitalized DPAC pretty soon.
Thank you. Further comment? All in favor of receipt of this report? Passed. Thank you.
Item 10.2.4, Caledonia Secondary School out of province field trip application to Montreal, Quebec City, and Ottawa, May 2022. The attached out of province field trip application for Caledonia Secondary School's French Core and Immersion grades 11 and 12 to Montreal, Quebec City, and Ottawa, a heritage trip planned on May 17th to the 20th, 2022, was presented and reviewed at the February 9th, 2022 Education Committee meeting. On January 16th, 2022, the board approved in principle the above mentioned field trip. In accordance with policy 1080, final board approval is required for this level 5 field trip with the submission of the completed field trip application to the board within 60 days of departure. In order to meet the prescribed approval timeline, the completed field trip application required the Education Committee's review and consideration at the February 9th meeting, then forwarded to the regular board meeting for the board's final approval on February 23rd, 2022. So the Education Committee did recommend that this out of province field trip application be forwarded to the board for approval. So I would like to make a motion that the board approve the Caledonia Secondary School out of province field trip application to Montreal, Quebec City, and Ottawa, the heritage trip from May 17th to the 20th, 2022, at no cost to the board and subject to ensuring the safety of students and adhering to federal and provincial travel advisories, including COVID-19 regulations, protocols throughout the travel dates.
A seconder for the motion, seconded by Karen. Thank you. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Passed. 10.25.
Yeah, finally, item number 10.2.5, board approval and principal for 2 MEMS out-of-country field trip to Paris and Italy, and Hazelton Secondary School out-of-country field trip to Asia, March 2023. In accordance with policy 1080, board approval in principle is required for all level field trips prior to initiating planning or fundraising and prior to remoting with students for the community. Level 5 trips encompass all trips regardless of duration that travel outside of the province and national jurisdiction. Final board approval is required for all level 5 trips with the submission of the completed field trip application to the board within the timelines: A, within Canada 60 days, B, international 120 days. The attached board approval and principal submissions are presented to the board for approval. Mount Elizabeth Middle Secondary School out-of-country field trip to Paris and Italy, March 2023, spring break. And Hazelton Secondary School out-of-country field trip to Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia, March 2023, spring break. The Education Committee did review the MEMS out-of-country field trip submission for board approval in principle at its February 9th meeting and forwards to the board with a recommendation for approval. The Hazelton Secondary School out-of-country field trip to Asia submission for board approval in principle was received on February 15th. This submission was not received by the February 9th Education Committee. However, in consultation with the Superintendent Meyer, and due to this inadvertent oversight, the submission is forwarded directly to the board for approval. So I would like to make the motion that the board approve in principle the Mount Elizabeth Middle Secondary School field trip to Paris and Italy planned during spring break in March 2023, pending federal and provincial COVID-19 regulations and protocols. Do I do them both together?
No, one at a time with the little seconder for that motion, please. Seconded by Shar. Any further questions? All in favor? Passed.
I would like to.
Yeah, sorry, Hazelton, go ahead. Yep.
I would like the motion that the board approve in principle the Hazelton Secondary School field trip to Asia planned during spring break in March 2023, pending federal and provincial COVID-19 regulations and protocols.
Seconder for that motion? Shar, thank you. Any further question? All in favor?
No,
Oh, sorry,
I have a
Sandy,
question.
go ahead. Yeah.
So is the trip for Hazelton, is that being done by EF Tours as well, or a different tour company?
One moment, please. Doesn't say. The application doesn't indicate the provider of the travel. Director Lawler, would you know?
I don't know for certain. We can definitely look into that. I don't have that document in front of me, unfortunately. I just have the one that came to us late.
Okay, Shar, you had your hand up for a question as well.
It's just, it says in the application that the financial assistance program is in place by our travel company. So I don't know what that travel company is, but I would assume it's, yeah.
But we can look into that, Chair Walker.
Okay. Any sorry,
if I may, yeah, if I may too, this will come back to us too for final board approval, because this is just the preliminary, so they can start their promotion of it, right?
Correct.
Oh, Sandy, you're muted. Sandy, you're muted. It's okay.
Yeah, so I would just like to know sooner rather than later. I just want to ensure that it is a tour company. I'm assuming that it is. It doesn't matter what tour company, that it's not, yeah. Thank you.
So the motion is to approve in principle the out-of-school trip for Hazelton to Asia. All in favor of the motion? Passed. Thank you. Thank you. The Education Committee was very busy. They did lots this month. Excellent. Thank you. Moving on to 11.A, the strategic plan and poster. We've received this multiple times for edits and input, and we're looking for Janet to just walk us through it and then see if there's a motion to accept. All yours, Janet. And you're mute. Oh, there you are.
Here I am. Thank you very much. I have two documents to share with you this evening around the strategic plan. The one that you should be seeing now is what we call the one pager, the strategic plan poster, if you will. And it outlines for you. One moment, please. The mission, the values, the vision, and the goals for the 27 strategic plan. That is the poster. So one moment, please. And what you should be looking at now, and I will go through, is the actual document itself, the 2022 to 2027 strategic plan. The strategic plan provides an overview and ties the goals of the strategic plan to student strategic planning for student success, which is a ministry direction. We've provided on this page as well, district content. This page is not yet complete because it's been quite some time since we've had the Board of Education all in the same room at the same time to be able to get a picture of the Board of Education. So that is pending, as is pending the approval of the 4 crests from the 4 nations we serve. We are reaching out to ensure that we have their permission to use their crest. Moving on, a message from the Board of Education. Again, like the poster, the mission and the values that the Board of Education landed on for their strategic plan for 22 to 27 is student engagement, culture diversity, respectful and meaningful relationships, a welcoming, safe and caring communities, a vital importance of well-being. And of course, we honor the First Peoples principles of learning and Indigenous ways of knowing and being. So the first goal is facilitate opportunities for all students to realize their full potential. And some of the actions associated with that goal can be found listed underneath, as well as below. You can see the performance indicators, some of the performance indicators that we will be using to measure our effectiveness in achieving this goal. The second goal, to honor and respect culture, diversity, and inclusion. And again, you can see the actions here, one of which I would like to highlight right here is the creation of an anti-racism action plan that I very much look forward to the creation of. Below, again, you will see some of the performance indicators that we will be using to measure this goal. And sorry, I'm having trouble seeing. The third goal is to facilitate well-being across Coast Mountain School District, building a culture of care and a compassionate system, and ensure all schools are safe and welcoming with a strong sense of belonging, focusing on well-being, and ensuring social emotional learning and trauma-informed practice, ensuring that it is embedded within all schools. And again, performance indicators followed below. And lastly, the last page is a list of performance indicators that apply to all 3 goals. So we didn't bother including all of these under each goal. We simply added them at the end to say that they apply to all 3 of the goals. So that is the overarching strategic plan for the Board of Education for Coast Mountain School District for the years 2022 to 2027. I would be happy to entertain any questions and turn it back over to Chair Walkup.
Thank you for the presentation, and we'll just get it off the screen so I can see. Is there any questions from trustees or any motion that would like to come forth? Questions? Angela?
Can I make a comment? I just want to say that it's good. It looks really good. I think all of the comments that we tried to tell you, you scooped up and put on there. So thank you very much. It looks good. I like the document.
Are trustees ready to make a motion for acceptance and filing it with all of the processes that we need to do. Would somebody like to so move that, please?
I'll move that.
Angela? Okay, we move acceptance of the strategic plan as completed.
Yep.
Seconder?
I'll second.
Shar? Any further question or comment on the plan? I like it, by the way. It's good. Shar, question?
Just point of clarification, friendly amendment, trustee Denuser. Did you move the poster and the plan? We have to move both poster and plan.
If they have to have separate motions, fine, but otherwise I'm quite happy with it being the one
Does
motion.
everybody accept the friendly motion that we're putting the two together? I see nods everywhere. So it's the strategic plan and the poster. Thank you. It's a package.
Yeah.
All in favor of accepting? I see everybody's hands up, passed. Thank you, Janet. I know it's been a journey yeah, to get there. So yeah, lots of ideas came forward and I think we captured some really nice direction for the future. Okay. We can now move on to, may I have a motion to accept the board chair's report of February 2022 to receive? Thank you, Raymond. A seconder, Angela. Any questions? Okay, trustee reports. Any trustees wish to share anything?
You just have to all in favor your
Oh, all in
request.
favor, sorry. End of the meeting, I get to this forgetting to vote. Okay, all in favor, got it. Thank you. Thanks, Char. Takes two heads sometimes to do things. Okay, trustee reports. Anybody wish to share anything? I had one thing that wasn't in my board chair report. It's more as a trustee. I know that the Minister of Education was given responsibility for food security and nutrition in schools, et cetera. And I heard this morning that we fed 144 backpacks last Friday for children that are in need. So I'm just wondering if at some point we could have some feedback from administration on how that food security is going in our schools. Because I also heard from a principal how much work it is to apply for all these grants to get food in schools. And so I'm a bit anxious about, are we doing everything that we can for food security with the students that we have? So it's just an inquiry question that came to mind today when I heard about how many backpacks were going out. Other trustees have anything they wish to share or celebrate?
Yeah. So on February 14th, I participated in the March for Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women and Girls in Terrace. It coincides with the Women's March in Vancouver. It was very moving. They read out the names of 52 women who have gone murdered or who have been found murdered or are still missing, and no conclusion to their disappearance or to their murder. So it was a very moving event that, yeah, kind of shook me to having a teenage daughter. Yeah, it was very moving.
Thanks for sharing, Sandy. Anything else to share from trustees? I don't see anything. So if we could move on to the BCPC delegate report. Karen, did you want to speak to that? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, so it's my first AGM for BCPC. It was virtual, which it is what it is nowadays. Everything's virtual. So there were some really good sessions. There was sessions about the teachers bargaining, provincial, local bargaining for the teachers and support staff bargaining. The Minister Whiteside was there and spoke with us. Lots of really good information. I did learn a lot, and I realized how much I do have to learn, but I'm engaged and enjoying it quite much. My report is in the package, and also there is a summary from the BCPC of the AGM.
myself because the papers were rattling. Can you move receipt of those reports? And Shar has a question. Karen, can you move receipt of the reports?
Okay, I'd like to move receipt of my report.
Seconder, Shar? Yeah. Any further questions for Karen? I see none. All in favor? Passed. Angela, you're really busy in this meeting, BCSTA, and yeah, you just have completed a meeting there too as well.
Yeah, our meeting was virtual as well, which was really a good thing because it started at 8:30 and was over by 10 o'clock. So thankfully we didn't all go to Vancouver for that. There was no emergent motions that came out that we had to vote on, which is really good. So I just wanted to remind everybody that the draft budget feedback is due by March 1st. So if you want to pass it, if you have any comments or questions, you can pass it on to me and I will forward it, or yeah, I'll make sure that it gets there. And also too, I'd like to encourage everybody to, if you can, I'm not sure, I tried to click on it, but it wouldn't work. But if you can, go onto the hub and go check out the president's report and click on it and read the president's report. She did a really, really good job of summarizing some of the standing committees that they have and what they're working on. I found it very informative, and I think everybody else, there's a couple points in there that I think everybody else would find pretty interesting as well. So I'd like to make the motion that the BCSTA Provincial Council report be presented for information.
Seconder for the motion, Shar. Thank you. Any question or comment? We do have our BCSTA provincial meeting coming up, so any inputs after reading the report is great. And I'm looking to Carol for help. The hub has changed our passwords again, so if you're having troubles, shout and we'll help to make sure that you can get in, because there's good reads there. And I know that we will be electing a new chair for BCSTA that Stephanie is willing to now share that she will step down as chair this year. So she has done a phenomenal job. So do read her report. Yes. Yeah. Busy year that she had as chair. Anything else to question on the BCSTA reports? Thank you for attending the meeting. I'm glad it was short and sweet. Okay. We're now into question period, and we welcome any questions. All in favor? All in favor? Thank you. I'll get better at it at the end of the meeting. I'll make a big note here or something. Okay, now we're into question period. Any questions from our guests? Or anybody else? That anybody wish to say anything? I don't see any hands up. Give you a moment to think if there's questions or comments. Kim, thank you. I see your hand now. Yep. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
In and out.
Could you be closer to your microphone, perhaps?
I can try. Does that help?
Woohoo! Yes. Yep.
A little too up close and personal for me, but all right. I just wanted to say that I was really happy to see, Mark, that you are the representative from this area on BCPC. It is always exciting to know that we have a local voice on provincial tables.
Thank you. Thanks, Kim. Any other comments, or can I have a motion to adjourn? A motion to adjourn from Sandy. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Remember, we don't meet next month, but there are some other things that we'll catch up with, and everybody who can have a great spring break and take the time for yourself. Thank you.